come on. Ah, dang it, son of a... Ugh. Mega Man games are supposed to be hard. But this is just ridiculous. This is a game that requires amazing timing, lightning fast thinking, and a whole lot of patience. In order to beat this game, I'm going to have to become Mega Man. And I know just what to do.
Super fighting robot, Mega Man. 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 Fighting to save the world.
Oh, Mega Man, truly a series like no other. Originally created in 1987, the famous Blue Bomber got his start during the NES era and got even bigger with the SNES. These games were groundbreaking by using a level select as opposed to the standard linear level progression, and having the main character obtain the powers of the bosses he defeats. Sure, Mega Man hasn't had the greatest of luck these days. If it wasn't for Nintendo, he really would have disappeared. But we're going to look back at a time when he was one of, if not Capcom's biggest stars. Are you gonna wear that stupid hat the entire time? Yes. In 1991, after the success of Mega Man 2 and 3, Capcom decided to create a game for the handheld market. And according to Kaiji Inafune, they outsourced the game to a company they felt would do the series justice on the Game Boy. And so we have Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge. Taking place after Mega Man 1, Dr. Wily once again sets his sights on world domination. This time, he revives several of the original Robot Masters, giving them another chance to do battle with Mega Man. Now why doesn't he do that all the time? 4 Robot Masters rampage across the globe, so Dr. Light sends Mega Man out to stop them. Once they are taken down, Mega Man heads to Dr. Wily's fortress, only to discover that there are 4 more Robot Masters. To make matters worse, Dr. Wily has constructed a new robot made specifically to kill Mega Man. This new villain is known as Anchor, who has the ability to absorb Mega Man's plasma shots with his lance and return a powerful blast of energy at him with his Mirror Buster. Now, similar to Donkey Kong Land, instead of just rehashing the story of Mega Man 1, they made it something original and introduced a new character that would go on to appear in later Mega Man games. But the story gets a bit crazier. Just wait. The gameplay is copied directly from the classic NES games, Run, Jump, and Shoot. As I mentioned earlier, you have 4 of the Robot Masters from Mega Man 1 to face, and all of their stages are completely new and use elements and enemies from the first 2 games. Cutman's stage features a lot of conveyor belts and remains mostly inside a factory-ish setting as opposed to outside. One of the enemies in Cutman's stage that I have a problem with are these rolling spike things. It seems like you can never get your timing right when avoiding them. Out of all of the Robot Master stages, Cutman strays the furthest from the original. Iceman's stage is filled with super slippery ice. What a surprise! It even has a couple of puzzles with falling icicles, but it lacks the water sections. Thank goodness. The most difficult section of Iceman's stage is this part with the turrets. Not so much fighting the enemies, they get easy once you figure out what to do. It's this whole sliding around on it. 1 second you're jumping, trying to shoot the enemy, the next second you're down a pit. Elecman's stage is full of fans, disappearing blocks, and electric beams.
Hey Josh, did you beat this level faithfully? Ow!
One thing that annoys me about Elecman's stage are these electric beams. You have to be perfect with your timing, just like with the disappearing blocks. And since this is a vertical stage, if you get hit, woo, 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 you're going down. Fireman's stage is probably the closest to resembling the original, full of beams of fire, lava, and fireballs. The only real problem I had with Fireman's stage are these enemies from Mega Man 2 that throw the fireballs. Not so much the fireballs, they're easy to avoid, but the enemies themselves, they just don't die. Now, if you're a veteran Mega Man player, you'll know that each Robot Master has a weakness to another Master's power. So, for Dr. Wily's revenge, here is the Joshua Gillespie strategy. The order in which I played the stages was Elecman, Iceman, Fireman, and then Cutman. So now we've defeated all 4 Robot Masters, it's time to fight Dr. Wily.
Just like that. Oh my god, my freaking ear.
Oh my god.
I'll make it.
So you get through Dr. Wily's fortress, which feels like a typical Wily stage, combining elements found through the first 4 levels and adding some new ones like spikes. Yippee. Also, you get a new item that creates platforms. This is actually very useful and is required to pass some parts. And after you finish, it's time to fight the last of the Robot Masters. But wait, what's this? It's 4 of the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. So I guess this game is another semi-pseudo-half sequel? The 4 bosses chosen are Bubbleman, Quickman, Flashman, and Heatman. Unfortunately, they don't show you where the doors lead, so you could run into trouble there if it's your first time playing. Instead of having 4 more stages to go through, you just fight them. After which, you go to face the Mega Man killer, Anchor. Anchor is a pretty creative boss fight. Like I said earlier, he takes in your shots, and then he fires them back at you. So be careful when shooting at him, because whatever you give him, he'll try to give to you. Ew. After you defeat Anchor, you have 1 more stage, and then it's time to go face Dr. Wily. Now let's move on to the...
Wait, Josh, you forgot to talk about the...
Sid, we'll get to that in a minute. You just talk about the presentation.
Okay. The graphics for this game are near perfect representations of its NES counterparts, with a few minor exceptions. One thing is that occasionally there will be so much stuff on the screen that it'll cause the game to slow down. That's typical, but it can sometimes cause you to jump too early and fall. And sometimes the graphics will flicker, but the characters all look great. Kaiji Inafune said that he felt the original graphics weren't aging well, so many of the enemies were redrawn. Now, as for the music, if you love the music to Mega Man games, especially the first one, you're going to squeal with joy when you hear this. Unfortunately, the original songs made for the game aren't as memorable. Not even Dr. Wily's Fortress. But overall, the presentation is good. There are some minor issues, but the good definitely outweighs the bad here. As Sid mentioned earlier, there was something I forgot to talk about, and that would be the difficulty. Now, as any Mega Man player will tell you, these games are anything but easy. Sometimes they're just brutal. So I've decided to dedicate an entire section to talking about this. Let me just say this before I go into detail. This is the toughest Mega Man game I've ever played, and I find it to be a miracle that I actually completed it. One of the main problems is how the levels are designed. It's in a way so you can see everything. This might appear to be helpful, so nothing surprises you, but the problem with this is when you're going to jump, the ceilings can be so low that if you're a pixel off, you'll fall and die. It's hard to describe just how difficult a game is without playing it for yourself. But I've come up with a way that might help. It's called the cookie and keep going back method. So what?
let me explain.
Oh, please do.
First, let me explain the cookie method. Donkey Kong Land is a great example of how to do it right. So you've just gotten through a difficult part of the level, and you've lost a good bit of health. Before you move on to the next part, the game will help you out with some power-ups. In Donkey Kong, they usually supply you with a DK barrel or some bananas, so you can make a mistake on the next part and still have another chance at it. But it's not so much that you feel overpowered. You feel like you've gotten better and not like you've just had your hand held the entire time, which is a problem many games nowadays suffer from. Now the keep going method. You've just gotten through a difficult part of the level and you've lost a good bit of health. Well, too bad. They just send you on your way and you have to hope you don't die. With most Mega Man games, while they are tough, you'll learn the levels over time, know how to get through them with minimal damage, and you feel like you're getting better. This isn't the case with Dr. Wily's Revenge. Because of the unpredictable power-ups and enemy patterns, the low ceilings, and just overall brutal difficulty, when you complete a tough section, it doesn't feel like you're getting better, but like you've just been lucky. So when your luck runs out, it leads to frustration and wanting to shut the game off. And that, Sid and viewers, is the cookie and keep going methods.
I'm impressed, Gillespie. You made something so stupid sounding sound logical.
So, after all has been said, what do I think of Dr. Wily's Revenge? This is where my job gets tough. I'm a huge fan of Mega Man, and I really want to love this, but the unfair and torturous difficulty just ruins what could have been a great experience. Imagine a Mega Man game that combines robot masters from the different games, and it's just like a big Mega Man extravaganza. It sounds awesome, and that's what got me interested. And it's a shame that the awesome graphics and the music went to waste. The things that this game did right are the story, the presentation, and showing that Mega Man could be done on a handheld system. Sadly though, Dr. Wily's Revenge also showed that some things needed to be changed from the NES games to make a handheld Mega Man good. Usually when I finish one of these games, I feel like I've accomplished something. But with this one, I just felt anger, and I was glad to be done. I don't want to do this.
Josh,
Sid, it's a Mega Man game. I can't do it.
if a game is bad, a game is bad. It doesn't matter if it's from a famous series.
You're right. I really don't want to do this. But Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge, should stay in the shadows. Oh, Sid. That really hurt.
You did the right thing.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna be alright?
Yes. Yes, I am. You know why?
Uh-oh.
That's right. October is here. And at JG Reviews, we don't ignore Halloween. It's my favorite month and it's my favorite holiday. And I have something very special planned this year. Get ready, because things around here are going to get spooky!